Welcome back to the channel. And today we want to talk about crypto tubers on YouTube getting strikes, getting banned, their channels getting deleted. And we recall about a month ago or so, we had what appeared to be a big issue with that, and apparently word came out from YouTube that it was a misunderstanding, it was a mistake, and many of these channels were restored. Well, it appears to be happening again, and it's caused some content creators to become a bit worried, trying to figure out why this is happening. Many rumors are surfacing now. Some of the bigger crypto YouTubers have apparently lost their channels or are under some kind of strike or something to that effect. And I'm not sure if this is something individually in their accounts or more or less a target to them as a whole. But apparently that seems to be what's happening right now with several of the very big channels, channels like Ivan on Tech, Crypto Chico. And so the last time this happened, I think it was raised the the idea that it was probably time for crypto tubers to kind of create their own platforms, or at least go to favorable platforms on the blockchain that were decentralized and where these type things couldn't happen. Now, understandably so, the reason that many crypto channels stay on YouTube is because YouTube has billions of visitors a day, and this is a very young industry. And if you want to attract new people in, you got to go where the traffic's at, and that traffic's going to occur on YouTube. Now, of course, the problem is this is kind of the tragedy of the commons type situation where to be able to get into new people, you got to use the existing platforms that exist that are maybe not favorable to that type activity. Now, it's not a whole lot of information that's come out about this as of yet. But one thing I noticed, and I've been a little bit concerned about this as well, is that a lot of big crypto tubers, they have a lot of affiliate programs and links and referrals, and because they are in cryptocurrency, many times this can relate to platforms that offer certain leverage trading, and it can be very, very risky, extraordinary riskier than many other ideas things we do in cryptocurrency. And so I could kind of see a situation where you could have many disgruntled people being part of some of the promotions that some of the big influencers promote, and not having a good experience there. In fact, I believe the channel was called In It for the Money. It was I used to watch it here and there, and I believe the host of the show was saying something about somebody had lost a lot of their money either due through one of his promotions or recommendations, and they were threatening to, I believe, kill the host of the show, and that made the host want to quit doing videos, and I think he possibly did. So, we have to factor many things when these things happen, and what's going on, and sometimes it would seem that the business of YouTube is quite vague, in how they deal with some of the channel owners. I recall having a incident where I was demonetized for seemingly no reason, and after contacting YouTube, doing some research, they did some research and went into my channel, and basically what happened was they said it was no problem on their end, but they couldn't find out why I was demonetized. So this went on for maybe about a month, and then I was monetized. My channel was once again monetized, but I was never given an explanation as to why this happened. Now, to be clear, at the same time, I was heavily, my channel was heavily talking about Pt.1, which was a YouTube alternative. So I always kind of had this feeling in the back of my head that this didn't happen until I start really talking about Pt.1. And so that's another thing for many of these YouTube content creators to even talk about some of the alternatives can be, something that is fearful for them to do. They may not want to do it. To be fair, on one end, I think if you're a business, you got a right to, not have people promoting other competitors at your establishment, to a great degree. So I kind of think of that. But when we factor everything up, if it does add up to be a situation where crypto tubers are targeted, and many are, and at this time are without their channels, I have a very small channel, so a few thousand subscribers. So I've never been hit yet, but it doesn't mean I won't be hit. And the good thing for me though, where some of these guys who get a great deal of followers and views, their livelihoods probably depend on this. And every man deserves to be able to feed himself and his family. And so in that respect, it can be quite concerning for them, I'm sure, and quite scary to for this to be resolved and some answers given. Um, you know, but one big alternative has been, it seems, is the LBRY decentralized video hosting channel, right? So we're hearing a great deal about that, especially in times like these. So here on the LBRY network, and as you can see, it's video hosting. It's on the blockchain, which means it's decentralized. Nobody can take it down or make a decision to remove your content. And so this is becoming the popular go-to type situations in these projects. And there's several like this, but right now, LBRY seems to be the one that is getting a lot of the attention, and kind of being the go-to one here. And I got to tell you, it's about 2 months I've been participating with LBRY now, and I want to show you my earnings. I think I did some of it on another video I did about LBRY, but I want to show some of my earnings because I was quite impressed with them. Over the last few months, I've made hundreds of dollars using LBRY, just uploading my normal YouTube videos, and it's probably been more than I've made on YouTube over the last few months. So I was saying that's a great start from LBRY. Now, is LBRY going to be able to keep that up? I have no idea, but it would seem to me the more platforms like this emerge, it's going to create a better and safer place for crypto tubers, and rightfully so. They should be supporting these type platforms, because these are going to end up maybe being their bread and butter. Now, how do they support them on something like YouTube? No idea. I would caution in that area, because could be just coincidence. But like I said earlier, when I was talking about Pt.2, which was kind of reminds me a lot of LBRY. It was doing very well at one time. It kind of fizzled away. And I hope that doesn't happen to LBRY, but it does happen to some of these platforms. I don't know what it is exactly. They could be expensive. They got to host all these, unlike YouTube that got Google money, it's quite difficult to, get funding for these things. And where's the money come from to host all these things? And, so some of them don't do that well, but LBRY seems to be doing pretty well right now. And I think that's even more reason for video content influencers to support these channels, these products, and so that they will have a home one day to go to, and it'll be a home they'll want to be part of. But if I had one issue with LBRY and many of these hosting platforms, YouTube has perfected not only their video platform and quality over the last few decades. They've had the time and the resources. These platforms, even though I'm looking at something like LBRY and I play their videos, it does great. I don't have a problem at all. So I remember some of this technology back when it first started, it was just unbearable. You couldn't get through a video. But library is pretty darn the videos streams pretty darn well, and it does a pretty good job as far as quality, as it were. So it doesn't seem to have a big problem there, and so that's a good thing. But I think one of the big issues with many of these platforms is because of the limited resources and money. It's hard for a content creator to make enough money on these platforms. And libraries coming out the gate doing good. Like I said, I started really paying attention in January, and since January to now, I've made hundreds of dollars with it. And I was like, wow, it's like hundreds of dollars for doing nothing. But the thing is, these big content creators who have to depend and their livelihoods depend on these types of things, they're going to need more like big corporate money, like what you get with YouTube. And one big issue with library I'm finding is that it depends a lot on tips of people. So if you got big followings, yeah, that could work out pretty good for you. But or if you're not monetized on YouTube, you're not a partner, you weren't getting any money anyway. Yeah, sure. Excuse me. Sure, that's going to work out very well for you. You're going to be getting something, and you're going to be monetized right away. But depending on tips, if you don't have a big following base, library is probably not going to be something that is going to hold your attention very long, simply because you're not going to be able to earn enough tips, because probably nobody's going to be tipping you. All right. So that's something to keep in mind. But we still need these platforms, especially if we're moving into an era where centralized platforms are going to be really shutting down many of these crypto channels, whether it's either due to government laws or business conflicts or what have you. The possibility of that exists. And so looking at libraries, several you can look at. You can look at BitTube, look at DTube, and they all have some type of similar system where either you're dependent on tips, or there's some type of voting system, or I believe BitTube used to have watch time, and I don't think that airtime they called it, I don't think it worked out that great for them, because you can have a lot of abuse with a system like that. But maybe collectively together, and maybe using several, a content influencer can find their way through the storm of what could be happening with YouTube. But let's take a look at one last one that I'm involved with. I'm a founder of, and that is the Bitcoin MYK site. We just added video hosting on YouTube videos, and we're going to take you over there and show you where we're a little bit different, where you might want to give us a try as well. All right, so we're here at Bitcoin MYK, and as you can see, what we're doing right now is we've added, video hosting feature, and right now it's just open to crypto tubers, people who make cryptocurrency video, but we will expand it to other video content creators. And how our project works, it's a little bit different than systems where you're dependent on tips, although you can tip or votes. And this works, I guess the best way to compare how we've made this model is this is more relational to what you might get like with a satellite company provider. Interesting enough, I was talking about library earnings, and there are some of my earnings when I did my library review, and you can see last month I made over 4,000 library coins, and I made thousands since then. And I was quite impressed with that for doing nothing really. But these videos, you'll be able to basically host them with us, your YouTube videos or other platform videos. And we do ours a little bit different, right? To become part of our, what we call a profit earning program, by putting up your videos here. The traffic that comes in through the site, you get to share in a portion of that traffic in this network, and you receive our cryptocurrency, Bitcoin MYK. Now, where this is different than maybe some of your other traditional video hosting sites, where our system is different, absolutely free to try. It's no staking or anything like that, like with some video platforms, or holding some type of voting power, as it were. All this is you come into the fold, similar to if you think of something like a satellite company, so the service providers that they are, in the packages that they have with these various cable channels, right? Premium channels. Whereas, if I were to give an example of something like HBO, if you wanted HBO, instead of just getting HBO, you might get HBO Showtime, Cinemax, and many of these other channels. And you get them, and you pay like one fee per month. But all of these channels in the network, they get some of the monthly payments you send in, right? So in that way, we decided to do something like that with our video hosting service, right? Where instead of depending on tips or some type of voting power or waiting to earn in that way, whereas we'd all share in a formula where the amount of visitors and traffic that come in would be relational to how much you get paid. So everybody in the network would be entitled to so much percentage of the amount of traffic, using a formula, handing over so many of these cryptocurrencies, to where every single month you're going to receive so many of our cryptocurrencies, as if you're in the video hosting platform, right? As well as be able to get more eyes on your videos. And the utility of the token works in a way where you can move positions with the token. Like, so if you want to be the first video, you'll be able to put up your Bitcoin MYK tokens or get them, and be the first person or be the first video shown, right? If you put up enough Bitcoin MYK tokens. And if not, you're still in the network sharing it as part of the value that comes in, and you're being paid out in our Bitcoin MYK tokens, okay? So that's a totally different approach. You do have to be accepted into the program, so it's not like one of those video content places you just start uploading videos. A little bit different from that, but I can assure you that like 99% of the people, videos will be able to go up through here. And these are some great solutions as to what can happen with being demonetized on big platforms like YouTube, or the like. So that's the BitcoinMYK.com site. You definitely will want to start uploading your videos here, or join our program, and we can get you videos shown right away, and I'm sure you'll like it. We don't have a problem with if you've posted the same video on another site. You can take it, and we can put you in the network here. And I think these are going to provide some great alternatives in the future for YouTubers who are experiencing, or may possibly be experiencing, a situation where they're not going to be able to upload videos anymore, not talk about the content that they believe in and what their channel's about. Also, I want to say that going back to that thing where a lot of these content influencers are dropping links to maybe questionable businesses and services, and because of that, they